So am I right in, I want to make sure I've understood you. You said that there is a field of awareness in which your experience appears, and that there is then another awareness that is aware of that field. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about the first field of awareness in which your experience appears.
It's unlimited and everything exists in it.
Okay, if it's unlimited, tell us about the second awareness that is aware of it.
It's just watching the whole part.
Well, does the second awareness have limits?
No, it exists.
So now we have two unlimited awarenesses. Is that right? We have the one unlimited field of awareness in which your experience appears.
But it seems like impossible to explore the second awareness. It's just...
But okay, but hang on. You say it's impossible to explore the second awareness, but are you sure there is a second awareness?
I'm not sure. I'm just seeing the field, so I'm still seeing the field.
But let's go back to the first awareness. You said the first awareness is a field of awareness without any limits in which all your experience appears.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if it doesn't have any limits, where is the second awareness? You're saying there are two spaces in the universe. There is this physical space which has no limits, and then you're saying this physical space which has no limits is known by or appears in another physical space. But where would that be?
In itself.
In itself, exactly. It's the same awareness. The awareness in which your experience appears is the same awareness that knows I am aware. It knows itself. It is in itself. You expressed it beautifully.
I'm always trying to focus on the perceiver being perceived, but it seems
you cannot perceive the perceiver. Look around this room now. You can see all the objects in this room. Yeah. Now try to look at your eyes.
I can't.
Your eyes are the only thing, relatively speaking, that you cannot look at.
But I once saw a video of you. You have to explore the nature of the awareness.
Yes.
So I'm trying to focus on...
Okay, but you're quite right. Okay, I understand what you mean. That you, if I were to ask you to describe these flowers, you would explore them.
Yes.
You would go with your attention. You would go in. Yes. So you are trying to explore awareness in the same way that you would explore these flowers or a mathematical equation. It's not possible. Because awareness is not something objective. It's a unique kind of knowledge. The knowledge I am, or I am aware, is an absolutely unique form of knowledge in that it has no objective qualities. But that doesn't mean that it is not known or that it doesn't know itself. It knows itself, but it is, we could call it a non-objective.
Yes. It's just...
So when we say we explore awareness, it's a unique, or explore our true nature, whatever it was you heard me say on the video. I didn't mean explore it with the mind like you would explore a mathematical equation. It's another kind of exploration. It's an introverted exploration in which awareness explores its own experience of itself. So let me give you a hint as to how you might do this. Very simply, ask yourself the question, are there any limits to the awareness in which my experience appears? No, but just before you answer. Yeah. When you hear that question, what takes place? What do you do, or where do you go in order to explore the question?
I expand My awareness.
Are there any limits to the awareness in which my experience appears? You have to explore the experience of being aware.
Yes.
Now, when I say you have to explore the experience of being aware, who is that you? Who is the one that would explore awareness? Who is the one that would know anything about awareness? Only awareness. Awareness is the only one that knows anything. So when I ask you the question, does the awareness in which your experience appears have any limits? Then you pause. Without knowing it, you, awareness, look at, as it were, yourself. You don't really look at yourself because you can't focus on yourself, but you become aware of yourself. You experience yourself. You, awareness, experience yourself as you are. And when you answer no to that question, the no comes from an experience. What you are saying is, no, I, awareness, find no limits in myself.
Yes. Yes.
For instance, imagine that you were to ask physical space. Imagine that physical space was aware. Yeah, so this space here, it's not just an inert space, it's a knowing space. Now imagine you to ask this physical knowing space, do you find any limits in yourself? What would the space do? It would experience itself. It would ask itself, what is my experience of myself? Can I find any limits in myself? And it would pause and say, no. In my own experience of myself, I am without limits. Now, consciousness is not a physical space, it is a knowing space, or a knowing space-like presence. It's not really a space, but it's space-like. So when I ask you, do you, awareness, when I say you, because you are the one that is aware of your experience, do you, awareness, have any knowledge of any limits in yourself? You, awareness, look at yourself or experience yourself. And as a result of that experience, you say, no, in my experience of myself, I find no limits. Right there, you, awareness, are knowing yourself as you are. Okay. It is thought that superimposes limits on awareness and thinks that awareness has limits. That's what thought says. But you, awareness, are the only one that knows itself. If you ask your self-awareness, what do you know? What is your experience of yourself? Awareness pauses, goes in this directionless direction, tastes itself, and comes back and says, in my own experience of myself, I have no limits. In my own experience, and therefore am infinite. In my own experience of myself, I never start or stop. In other words, I wasn't born and I do not die. That is awareness's experience of itself. In other words, I am eternal. And that is not an extraordinary experience that a few people have access to. It is in fact what all of us are now experiencing. Only most of us do not see that clearly because of the limitations that thought and perception have superimposed on what we essentially are.